I'm John Beaudin from Rock History Music. Here's part 6 of our interview with Gil Moore of Triumph. Remember, the entire interview will be on our Canadian channel. If you want to get right straight to the whole thing, there'll be a link at the very top of the description of this video. As most of you know, I've talked to Rick Emmett, I think about 7, maybe 8 times in the past. We spoke with Mike Levine in the last year twice, but I've never had Gil Moore and really enjoyed talking to him. He's a real nice guy. Metalworks, when did you know this machine that you built, this whole other life, which you would have been known for anyway by itself, right? When did you know this was going to take off? Did it take off from the beginning? Were there defining moments?
No, it was a build. I love technology, and the first studio at Metalworks. There were 2 engineers that were involved in the design of the studio and the electrical build and so on. But I was the band member that was involved in it because I was involved in, sound, lighting, that sort of technology. So I was a bit of a geek. And so I got involved in the construction of the very first studio. But no, it started as Metalworks started as a private studio that was just for Triumph and some of our friends. So, Tom Cochran recorded there. Our engineer, if he wanted to bring somebody in that, he was friends with or whatever, there was some of that going on. But initially it was just a private studio. But it was really after, Triumph stopped recording and I sort of turned it into a commercial studio and started building more studios. So we got it up to where we had 6 studios running. Now with our school, we have 9 studios, but it grew over time.
The Le Studio thing, you're a studio guy, so that's not really being rebuilt, right? I mean, as far as I know, that I keep seeing videos of this famous studio, and it's basically still it looks like it's in a war-torn area of the world. Have you heard anything about that?
I missed the first part of the question.
Le Studio, where people are saying they're going to rebuild it, but that's been being said for 10 years now. In Morin Heights, there's people.
I don't think that's a true story, but it could be.
Okay. But
the studio at Morin Heights was a great studio. Like Andre Perry was a great studio man, and interestingly, so Morin Heights had the first SSL console in Canada. And the reason I know that is because I bought the sound. So, he recorded some great albums up there. Different engineers, of course, different producers, but Morin Heights turned out some amazing records.
Okay, Mr. Gil Moore, what are you going to do with all that stuff you have in the warehouse? I saw that documentary, and I remember seeing Randy Bachman's. I'm going, that's a lot of guitars. I asked Steve Lukather, and I've talked to Steve so many times. I follow Toto a lot. And I asked him, and he's got this stuff right in the back of him. It's everywhere. Nothing like this. That's just autographed albums from 39 years. But I said, what are you going to do with your stuff? And artists always know, oh, my stuff. I'm not. Steve Lukather said, I'm not getting rid of my stuff. My son, Trev can sell it or whatever. What's the plan? Because I thought Thunder 7 stuff and all kinds. I'm going, my God, that stuff's worth a lot of money.
Yeah, well, I didn't collect it because I thought it was worth a lot of money. I mean, when you collect it, it's worth nothing kind of. It's just a habit, and Mike and Rick used to tease me about all the stuff that I collected. And the crew, they would be like, okay, we need an extra tractor trailer for Gil because he's got to bring back all this stuff that he collects on the road. But, I just thought, like t-shirt designs, I would be like, are you kidding me? Like, this tour, there's 10 t-shirt designs. I don't want to never have any. So put it, a dozen of each design or whatever into a flight case and all this kind of stuff that just, I collected. And then there was stuff for the environment. We'd have scrap records, and what are you going to do with those things? Bury them and pollute the earth? So I'd be like, I don't know, let's store them. We'll figure out a way. One year when I was, when the band first started, I actually gave away Triumph singles to kids on Halloween that knocked on my door. And our very first single hobo, which now is really a rare piece of vinyl. But I had these things, and I every kid that came around to my front door, I gave him a single. And it's funny because the story has been going on all these years. I hear about stories about, well, I knew some friend of mine who grew up in your neighborhood, and he says that he got a vinyl record when he was going around collecting UNICEF and candy, and he got, UNICEF and he got candy, but then he got a vinyl record. Is that a true story? And yeah, it's actually a true story.
Bobby Curtola.
I don't know. I'm a collector.
Well, Bobby Curtola lived in Rio Terrace in Edmonton, and he lived near my ex-wife, and she still tells the story now. She says Bobby Curtola used to give out singles. She says luckily half the kids were really happy about it because it was really neat. They had enough candy, man. They were going out of, but they were going, hey, I got a 45, and Lynn told me, she says the biggest story she's heard of a lot of those kids, that was their first 45.
Yeah, I got the same reaction. The kids went crazy, for the 45.
When you were watching the documentary or going through this process, I mean, I was asked Rick this story, and make sure you comment on our videos, like our videos. We love it when you do. It really helps them perform. Share them on any groups you may be part of, and subscribe to our channel. I'm John Beaudin. This is Rock History Music.